So, the last week of Gamecube Month. You're probably asking me, what am I reviewing? Nope. Sorry. Maybe later. What? Why would you even think of that? Killer7! Killer7 has been without doubt one of the craziest, bizarre, twisted, off-the-wall, completely out of its mind games I have ever played in my life. But before we talk about the game, let's talk about its developer. Goichi Suda, better known as Suda51, is the developer behind Killer7, and he's been making games since the early 90s, working on such titles as Super Fire Pro Wrestling, Moonlight Syndrome, and The Silver Case. You've probably never heard of these games though, as they were only released in Japan. It wouldn't be until the international 2007 release of the Wii game No More Heroes where the world finally knew the name of Suda51. But 2 years earlier saw Suda's first international title released on the Gamecube and PlayStation 2, Killer7. And like a certain other Capcom Gamecube game, this sucker comes on 2 discs. I should know, when I first bought this on eBay, I only got disc 1. Man, was I pissed! The game focuses on the assassin Harmon Smith, who by harnessing the power of his 7 personalities, forms the collective assassin group known as Killer7. Of course, the game really doesn't explain this, so it's up to you to actually read the manual. Gameplay is like nothing else you have ever played. Instead of using the direction pad to move your character through a level, you hold down the A button to walk and your character moves along a set path. The game's cutscenes are used to explain that the world, after achieving international peace, has been thrown underneath the mysterious terrorist organization Heaven's Smile, who unleashed mysterious smiling time bombs on the world. The combat mechanic of this game sees you holding down R to switch into first person mode and using L to scan to allow the Heaven's Smile creepers to show up on your scanner, before pumping them all with hot lead. Shooting in a specific place delivers an instant kill and gives you blood. Blood is a very, very important part of this game. It allows you to level up your personalities as well as heal them. However, when they die, you take the role of the cleaner Garcia and Smith, and you head out to the place where they died to pick up their remains. After that is done, you rapidly press the A button to revive them. However, if Garcia dies, it's back to the last save. Which are done through the maid Samantha in Harmon's room. However, some Harmon rooms, Samantha is all casual, so you can't save your game. This and more are all explained through our Rey Mysterio dominatrix offspring assistant, Irizuru. Each character has their own specific talents, weapons, and moves. There are times where you could be switching continuously from one personality to another just to progress a level. These personalities include the 6-shooter Dan, the sniper Kaid, the thief Coyote, the youngster Con, the knife thrower Kevin, and the professional wrestler Mask D. Smith. To say this game is cel-shaded is an understatement. On the graphic side of things, this game looks absolutely ghastly. Look at this building. This isn't a texture, it's a shape tool. My god, Star Fox and the Super Nintendo had more pixels than this. But looking back on it, that's probably the charm of Killer7. Suda didn't do anything by conventional standards. Everything from the controls to the gameplay to the graphics. Nothing was sacred, and there were moments that could leave you scratching your head the first time you saw them. You can clearly see when playing Killer7 where Suda would get inspiration for his Wii classic. Hell, Travis is the name of one of the supporting cast, not to mention featuring a wide variety of fucked up characters. Suda51 has since worked on other major titles, including Fatal Frame 4 for the Wii, Shadows of the Damned, and the upcoming Lollipop Chainsaw.
Boom, boom.
Lollipop, lollipop,
Now you know that's on the list. Killer7 is a strange, twisted, and incredibly unique title. If you can find a copy, I strongly recommend it. While this game was released on both the PS2 and the Gamecube, many people claim the Gamecube version to be superior with better graphics and faster load times. And that concludes my Gamecube month. Looking back, it was incredibly hard to narrow down the titles for this month. Looking past the Metroids and the Zeldas, there's an incredible lineup of overlooked, underrated titles. Underrated. Underrated. That one word can sum up the entire life of the Gamecube. The console, underrated. The games, underrated. Everything, underrated. What was it about the Gamecube that just destroyed it in sales? For one, the lack of a DVD player may have hurt in sales. Keep in mind this is 2001, the DVD player had just landed, and Sony and Microsoft were offering what at the time was an affordable DVD player. It could have also been the concept of the console itself. While the PS2 and the Xbox were rocking these giant black cases, Nintendo decided to go for a small, purple, cube-shaped console. Weirdest part was, the fucking thing had a handle! A handle! What about the third-party support? Ever since the N64, Nintendo lost some of its major third-party developers, like Squaresoft. Not to mention, around this time, Nintendo lost Rareware to Microsoft for almost $500 million. Even though the GameCube was easier to develop for than the N64, developers were still tired of Nintendo's previous actions and just left the GameCube alone. Even though the GameCube had superior tech to the PlayStation 2, the GameCube ends up selling only 22 million units, narrowly losing it to the Xbox by 2 million. They did beat the Dreamcast though, but that's another story. However, unlike their competitors, Nintendo knew that backwards compatibility was an important feature, so they decided to fully support the GameCube in their Wii console, allowing you to plug in 4 controllers and 2 memory cards. Up until last year, however, when they released a brand new budget Wii Family Edition console, removing GameCube compatibility. So here we are, at the end of the line. Who knows what will happen to the GameCube library in the future? Will we see it on the Wii U's Virtual Console? Hopefully. But until then, maybe it's time that you start thinking inside the cube. See you next time.